I would argue that real conservatism is actually populist conservatism. It's non-theoretical, and it is targeted towards kind of the interests of ordinary people and their concerns. And that's what I would argue populist conservatism is.
So there are a lot of folks on the right who they hear something like, non-ideological and more pragmatic, and what they hear is government.
Right,
because typically
right.
when folks say, I'm a pragmatic conservative, it sounds like John
Right.
Kasich in Ohio. What I really want is to expand Medicare. What I really
Right.
want is to ensure that everybody is taken care of by the government. Where do you think the distinctions are between?
That's a great question, because often you'll see the same thing happen in Canada. I'm a pragmatist or I'm a centrist. And of course, coming from the mouth of a conservative, it often means actually they're left of center, but somehow want to be in a conservative party. I mean, I'm talking firmly about conservative values, belief in markets, belief in, traditions, family, faith, the flag, etc. But applied to real world problems. The problem I had when I talk about, theoretical abstract conservatism is the kind of conservatism that, has an agenda that was written by Ronald Reagan in the 1980s, and we should follow this kind of regardless of circumstances. I'm talking about applying real conservative ideas to contemporary problems that actually need to be fixed in the interests of ordinary people. That's different than just watering down your principles. It's applying your principles to real world situations.
Do you see any distinction between sort of Canadian conservatism and American conservatisis, or is it basically, two branches of the same tree?
No, I think they're distinct. I think actually what makes conservatism distinct as opposed to philosophies on the left is because conservatism is empirical and fundamentally cultural. Conservatism actually does differ to some degree in various entities, whereas liberalism and socialism and the realisms are they're kind of belief systems regardless. You've got to transform whatever society it is into that. So Canadian conservatism is different. I would say several differences that are discernible. It is more communitarian, less individualistic. Not to say it's not individualistic, but sort of if you see conservatism as a balance of liberty and order, it's more on the order side than on the liberty side. It's also, of course, conservatism in Canada, historically and presently, means support for the institution of the Crown, which, of course, in the United States, conservatism is based on opposition to the Crown. And there's kind of values that go along with this. These are things at the margin. It's not like a Canadian conservative and American conservative would not have very similar views on most issues. But unlike a liberal or a socialist, their views would not be identical.